Hello, it's a Tuesday afternoon. I have a sleeping baby on my back, and I thought I would take this opportunity while everyone is otherwise occupied in the house to share these 4 herbal remedies that I'm making right now with autumn in mind. And yeah, so just 4 remedies that I am either making or will be making. The first one being elderberry syrup. That one is pretty common during colds and flu season. I like to make that when the elderberries, right when the elderberries are ripe. I happen to have an elder bush that I cultivated. It's been in our yard for 3 years now, but before then I was trying for 2 years. So this would be my second year getting berries from it, which is really exciting. I get elderflower in the spring, which then I save for tea, and then I get berries in the fall, and that's what I'm gonna make my elderberry syrup with. And so I'm very excited for that. My chickens also eat a lot of the elderberries, and yeah, elderberry syrup, that one's perfect for cold and flu season. The next one that I am thinking about making, or that I actually currently have made, and I have some footage of it, hopefully I'll share that, is a really delicious comfrey salve. And so I have the comfrey oil that is macerating right now, and I got the comfrey from my front yard. I grew comfrey from seed from Strictly Medicinal Seeds a few years ago, and it is really happy in my front yard. And back when I used to let my chickens free roam around our yard, they transplanted a lot of the seeds all over, so I get comfrey babies popping up everywhere. So I had comfrey all over. I had so much, and I tried to do compost tea and mulch with it, but that really hasn't happened this year because we've had so much going on. So I took a bunch of leaves the other day and dehydrated them, and then I used the, oh my goodness, what is it called, the alcohol intermediate method to start and make my comfrey oil, and then that's what I'm going to turn into my salve once the oil is done. And it's already looking so good. It's only been a couple of days, but it's this deep beautiful green that I associate with comfrey. I'm going to use that salve on bug bites and skin lesions. Right now my spouse, he's been doing a lot of construction work and different projects around the house, and so his hands just get tore up. So that comfrey salve, I made that with him in mind, but also for us. We tend to get a lot of bites just because we're always outside and we're always in the woods. Right now my baby even has like a gnarly bite on his thigh, and so that's the type of thing that I would be using that salve for. So that's number 2. Number 3 is an infused honey. I have to go pick up honey from my bee lady eventually, because I want to make like sage infused honey and thyme infused honey. I love those honeys. We use a lot of honey because we drink a lot of tea, make a lot of syrups, and so having high quality local honey to go with, infused honey to go with things around the house, even baking, is really delicious. So that's number 3. And then number 4, which I made and completed, was a iron-rich syrup. And so I used a lot of iron-rich herbs, nettle from the garden, and I used dandelion root. I also used warming herbs like cinnamon and ginger, and I did a decoction on the stove, let that boil down, and then I added molasses and a little bit of sweetener, and then that syrup, I knew what I really needed was to add a little bit of brandy or a little bit of citric acid. I have not done that yet because I don't have those things. I need to get them, but in the meantime it's in the fridge. And that iron-rich, it's really iron-rich because of the molasses as well. I used molasses in my first pregnancy because I was incredibly anemic, and I recommend unsulfured blackstrap molasses when people talk to me or mention being anemic. And so my partner, my spouse, my husband, he got heat exhaustion, not heat stroke, heat exhaustion, and it's really depleted him. And I made that so that he could have something to just be nourished. I mean, we all need it in these upcoming months. I also love to give it to my daughter in her milk. she's about to be 7, and I just feel she's really peakish at this age. You know, she really only wants to eat what she wants to eat. She doesn't want to eat like the regular meals that we cook. She's a picky eater right now, and so giving her, but she does love milk, so giving that to her in her milk, I know that she's getting a lot of minerals, a lot of nutrients and things like that. So yeah, I made that iron rich syrup, nettle syrup essentially is what I would call it, and the nettles came from my garden. Yeah, and those are the 4 remedies that I am thinking about making, or I'm in the process of making, or I'm waiting for them to ripen. And I want to know what you, if you're making any herbal remedies, if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions. I'm gonna kind of share a lot of the, I'm not so much going to share, I'll share recipes when I can find them, and I'll share my own recipes. But I have a Patreon, and there's so much free information on the internet. I feel like I don't want to be that another person showing you how to make elderberry syrup when there's so many recipes for elderberry syrup online. So if I can find a good resource outside of my own recipes that are behind a paywall on Patreon, there's just so much free information out there. But if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos like this. Yeah, thank you so much.